Today, I'm going to add one amazing superstar using every birth year. The goal is to construct a roster to compete for a Super Bowl in just one season, but we have to fill out the entire roster by using one player from every NFL team. This means we cannot add more than one player from the same NFL team to our roster, which definitely makes this much more challenging. I put the last 40 years onto this wheel, and after giving the wheel a spin, it lands on 2001. There are plenty of emerging superstars born this year like Kyle Hamilton, Devin Achane, Tyler Smith, and Puka Nacua. I can't be passing up on a shutdown safety, and Kyle Hamilton will be the first player on the team. Just like that, we can no longer add another player from the Ravens, and the year 2001 is now removed from the wheel. As we spin the wheel once again, it looks like the next birth year we have to pick a player from is going to be 1994. And take a look at the quarterbacks from this year. Definitely none of them will lead us to a Super Bowl, but there are plenty of other solid options like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, and TJ Watt. This is definitely a really hard choice, but I have to go with Tyreek Hill to add the fastest receiver in the game to our team. There will be plenty of really tough decisions that I have to make throughout this video, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section of who you would have picked instead for each birth year. Moving on to our third wheel spin, it's going to land on the birth year 1990. And there are a few really great players still in the NFL like Stephon Gilmore, Bobby Wagner, and even Tyron Smith. But there is one other offensive lineman born in 1990, and that's Zach Martin. And he will be the starting right guard on our team. We definitely lucked out with our first couple of wheel spins, but if we were unable to fill a certain position on the team, we'll have to sign a 70 or below rated free agent to fill that spot, which will ultimately hurt our chances of winning a Super Bowl. Moving right into the next wheel spin, I really hope we can continue adding some superstars to our team, and it looks like we have to use the year 2002. Unfortunately, not many players to choose from, but after scrolling through the list, I decided it was best to go with Bijan Robinson to be our first running back on the team, knocking out the Falcons with that selection. Spinning the wheel once again, and it ends up landing on the year 1997. The best player born this year has to be Lamar Jackson, but unfortunately we can't bring him to our team since we already used the Ravens, bringing in Kyle Hamilton. There are a few other quarterbacks born in 1997 like Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones, but I'm going to pass on them and bring over Max Crosby from the Raiders to play defensive end. After spinning the wheel once again, it's going to land on 1991. Some pretty good players to choose from, but the one player I'm going with is left guard Joel Bitonio to play alongside Zach Martin on the offensive line. Keeping this going, the next wheel spin lands on 1989. This is a really great spin since we have so many amazing options like Von Miller, JJ Watt, Julio Jones, and Cam Hayward, but I can't pass up on 99 overall Travis Kelce, and he'll be joining our offense. Moving on to the next spin, the birth year we have to select a player from is 1975. And arguably the best player born that year was Ray Lewis, but we can't pick him since we already used the Ravens, so we have to go with Rondé Barber, and he will be our first cornerback on the roster. Spinning the wheel twice, and the birth years we can pick players from are 1996 and 1978. And as much as I want to add someone like Fred Warner or Minkah Fitzpatrick to really improve our defense, I can't be passing up on Joe Burrow, and he'll be our QB1. Another solid option from 1996 was Josh Allen, but I think Burrow is the better quarterback, especially in Madden. And as for 1978, it was an easy decision to add Brian Urlacher to our defense. With those two spins, we have officially used 10 NFL teams, and our offense is looking pretty good with Joe Burrow and Tyreek Hill leading the way, while the defense has plenty of superstars already. After spinning the wheel, it lands on 1969. Plenty of Hall of Famers to go with, but the best player to fit our team is Junior Seau, and he'll join Urlacher at middle linebacker. Continuing on, the next player we add to our team has to be from 1983. A couple solid choices in Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, and Kyle Williams. Since we don't have a defensive tackle yet on our roster, let's add Kyle Williams to our defense. Our roster is really starting to shape out, and after giving the wheel a spin, it lands on 1993, and there are plenty of great players to choose from like Stephon Diggs, George Kittle, or Cooper Kupp. We can definitely use a second receiver, so let's go ahead and add Stephon Diggs, knocking off the Texans since that's the team he's currently on. The last three rounds give us some solid players to help our team, so let's spin the wheel twice here, and the two birth years that we have to pick players from are 1987 and 2003. No brainer for 1987, adding future Hall of Famer Jason Kelce to be our center, and as for 2003, I elected to bring in rookie JC Latham to be our right tackle. Both picks really shore up our offensive line. Moving right into the next round, the wheel lands on 1988. Both Antonio Brown and Richard Sherman were really great players in the NFL, but I had to bring in Trent Williams to finish our offensive line. And with that, we officially knocked off 16 NFL teams from the list, and our team is coming along better than I expected. With an elite offense featuring Joe Burrow and a defense that has Max Crosby, we are definitely looking good to complete our goal of lifting the Lombardi Trophy. We'll have some work to do, and after spinning the wheel, we can add a player who was born in 1967. The only option for us was John Randall, and he'll be our defensive tackle next to Kyle Williams. Moving this along, the next two wheel spins land on 1998 and 1974 right after. For the birth year 1998, I can go with Brian Burns or Derek Brown, but since we can use an outside linebacker, I'm going to add Brian Burns. And for a player born in 1974, let's bring in Ty Law to be cornerback number 2 right behind Rondé Barber. And right into the next round, the wheel lands on 1982. A few good options in Big Ben, Marcus Ware, and even Jared Allen. But I'm not passing up on Broncos legend DeMarcus Ware to play alongside Max Crosby. The team is really starting to come together, and with just 12 NFL teams left, the next wheel lands on 1979. Not many options left with the teams we have left, but Adrian Wilson was born in 1979, and he'll be the starting free safety on our team. The next couple of wheel spins land on the year 1986 and the year 1992. Easy choices, adding Clay Matthews as our right outside linebacker, and as for 1992, I would have loved to bring in Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins, but we already used the Raiders and the Titans, I decided to bring in Tyler Lockett to be wide receiver number 3. Down to the final 9 NFL teams that we can use, and the next wheel lands on 1999. And I can't believe we had to pass up on superstars like Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons, since we already used the Vikings and the Cowboys. But on the plus side, we can add Amon-Ra St. Brown or Patrick Queen to the team. And even though we already have 3 receivers, I'm not passing up on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he will join in an already stacked wide receiver room. This is honestly one of the better teams we have put together so far, but we still have a couple positions that we need to fill. And the next 2 wheel spins land on 1995 and 1976 right after. 2 fairly easy choices, bringing in Jonathan Allen, who was born in 1995, and as for 1976, I like it to bring in Jacksonville legend Fred Taylor to share running back reps with Bijan Robinson. Just missing a couple players, and the next wheel spin lands on 1981. Not really sure who was born in 1981, but after looking through the list, Troy Polamalu is the best option, and he will join our defense. We are now down to the final 5 NFL teams, so I decided to spin the wheel twice, landing on 2000 and 1965 right after. So many great choices for players born in 2000, but I ultimately decided to add Sauce Gardner from the Jets to join an already stacked cornerback room. As for 1965, there wasn't too many options other than Eric Allen, who played for the Saints, and he'll be joining the cornerbacks on the depth chart. Just missing a couple players, and the next wheel lands on 1972. I was able to narrow down the choices to Marvin Harrison and Adam Vinatieri. Both play for the Colts. I elected to add Adam Vinatieri to the team. After spinning the last 2 wheels, they land on 1985 and 1973. Only one choice for the remaining teams, and that's Ted Ginn Jr., and he will join the receiver depth chart. And as for 1973, I can go with either Kevin Carter or Marshall Faulk, but we could use more edge rushers, so let's go with Kevin Carter. And just like that, we have used 1 birth year from every NFL team, and our offense is looking amazing with Joe Burrow leading the way and plenty of superstars on the defense. I did have to bring a few free agents to fill some backup positions and a punter for the team. The opening game of the season was against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. After a big stop on 3rd and short, Joe Burrow led his offense down the field and found Amon-Ra St. Brown on a slant route for a touchdown. The team of birth year's defense was playing lights out, and before the first half ended, Burrow connected with Travis Kelce to take a 2-touchdown lead. The Ravens started the comeback in the second half, and in the red zone, Lamar keeps it for himself and scores a touchdown to tie the game. With just 2 minutes to go, Burrow was able to get his team all the way down the field, and it all comes down to an Adam Vinatieri field goal attempt. The kick is up, and it's good! The team of birth years went on to win the first game of the season, with Joe Burrow throwing for 291 yards and 3 touchdowns. After simming the rest of the season, the team of birth years finished with a perfect 17-0 record and have a first-round bye heading into the playoffs. We now take on the 10-7 Los Angeles Chargers in the divisional round. And this game started great for the Chargers as they were able to move all the way down the field, but they elected to go for it on 4th down, and the team of birth years got a huge stop. The first half was quite the defensive battle, and right before the second quarter ended, the Chargers kicked a 3 to tie the game up. After a pass interference penalty on Derwin James, Fred Taylor broke off a couple tackles, picking up 15 yards. A couple plays later, the team of birth years faked a field goal, and Travis Kelce is able to make the catch for the touchdown. The team of birth years then kept their foot on the gas, with Fred Taylor scoring a 40-yard receiving touchdown. Herbert and the Chargers managed to cut the lead with this passing touchdown to Hayden Hurst, but unfortunately for the Chargers, they couldn't get a stop, and Joe Burrow throws another touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. And just like that, the team of birth years end up defeating the Chargers in the divisional round. Next up, we take on the 15-2 Kansas City Chiefs. And it was a team of birth years who got on the board first with this passing touchdown from Joe Burrow to the backup tight end. Mahomes and the Chiefs quickly answered back with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Marquise Brown. After fast-forwarding to the second half, the team of birth years have a 7-point lead and are moving down the field once again. The team of birth years were able to extend their lead with a field goal, which ended up being enough as they take down Mahomes and the Chiefs. Joe Burrow ended up finishing 3rd in MVP voting, but on the plus side, Fred Taylor won Offensive Player of the Year, while John Randall won Defensive Player of the Year. We now take on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. And the game kicked off with Jordan Love getting his team all the way down the field before throwing it underneath to Romeo Doubs for the first touchdown. After giving up the first touchdown, Joe Burrow got his team all the way down the field with some nice passing, and then throws a quick hitch to his tight end to tie this game up. The team of birth years continue their dominance, and in the second half, Burrow once again throws another passing touchdown to Tyreek Hill. The Packers had no answer in the second half, and the team of birth years went on to win the Super Bowl by a huge score and completed the undefeated season. If you enjoyed this video, you definitely want to check out this video right here. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it, and so do I. So click on it.